Vedic astrology, Vedic just means that it comes from the Indian tradition.
Hmm.
But most people think when you do Vedic astrology that you also have to do sidereal astrology.
Uh-huh.
In the Western tradition, around the 21st of the month is when things change. So we have a certain way of measuring the planets in the West, and we call that tropical astrology. In the Vedic tradition, it's particularly Indian astrologers. They have something called the sidereal Ayanamsha, sidereal measurements. It's
Hmm.
where they take things 23 degrees. They take
Okay,
things
okay.
23 degrees back. So I'm a Scorpio in the tropical tradition that
Uh-huh.
most Westerners recognize. But in the traditional Indian, I am a Libra.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to prove to these idiots that astrology's stupid.
Hmm.
So I went and started reading an astrology book. It's a very particular book. It's called Sextrology. Uh,
Sex, like as is sex astrology.
Sextrology. I'm a Scorpio. I read Sextrology and I read
Yeah.
all about what it says about Scorpio, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this.
Uh-huh.
No, I was reading this and it's telling me about like how I grew up. It's telling me about my body. It's
Hmm.
telling me about the things that I might dream about. And I was completely blown away. I could not believe it. I am a Vedic astrologer, but I use tropical measurements because I'm a
Uh-huh.
Westerner. I'm from Canada. So I don't take
Yeah.
the signs back like the Indian people do. But I do use their yogas, their language for interpreting the symbols of astrology.
Hmm.
It's sort of a neo approach in the Vedic tradition. We have our own sort of big three that we kind of play with. We have something called the Atma Karaka, is the planet with the highest degrees in the chart. Venus is my planet with the highest degrees. Atma means the soul, and then a
Uh,
Karaka is like a signal, an indicator of something. You know, they say about Venus is that they have something called kavya, which means that they see a meaning where other people wouldn't see it. They sometimes, with Venus, if you have a strongly aspected Venus or
yeah.
strong indicated Venus, you see things that other people don't see. I'm a reflector in human design, which I think
Uh,
adds a weird twist to everything, as I like to
yes.
think. I am a Leo rising.
Ah.
You know, you can kind of see that
I can
lion
explain
energy
the
inside of
hair.
me.
Yeah, amazing. You're also a singer, from what I watched.
A little bit, yep, yep. I'm Scorpio sun at the bottom
Hmm.
of the chart, and then I'm Sagittarius moon in the fifth
Oh,
house.
okay, okay.
Ryan Kirksack had a school, like an apprenticeship, and he was very intensive about it. I started in 2018, and then in the final year, Ryan kicked me into the water and said, sink or swim. You got to learn to swim, buddy. So what he said was, you have to go out and find, I think it was about 52 charts. You have to do 52 readings for people on a donation basis.
Hello and welcome back to another Backstage Astrology episode. My name is Mayra Medina, and today I am with a very special guest. I'm here with Dustin Cormier. He's based in Canada. Dustin, thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
I'm amazing. Is it Myra? Is that right? I just got to
Yeah,
make sure I
Mayra,
got
it's
your name right.
okay.
Myra. Thank you so much, Myra, for doing what you're doing and for letting me be here. I think it's very special that you're helping the world of astrology by bringing people on to discuss this thing that we all love. I think it's a
Oh,
great idea, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dustin. For those who don't know you or don't know about the work you do, how would you like people to know you really as an astrologer or as Dustin, whatever you want to say?
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for asking, Myra. Yeah, my name's Dustin Cormier. You can find me on YouTube as How to Rock Astrology. I am a person who's passionate about consciousness more than anything. In Jyotish, in Indian astrology, what we say is Jyotish, which is astrology, is the science of the light. It's just one aspect of self-realization of yoga.
Hmm.
So the bigger picture part of astrology is self-realization, is understanding the nature of oneself, looking within and seeing who you are in the context of the world. So I'm somebody who's interested in consciousness. I consider myself a yogi more
Mm-hmm,
than
mm-hmm.
anything.
I was also when I discovered your work, I saw you are a lot into Vedic astrology
Hmm.
and consciousness and yoga. So can you explain us a little bit more about your approach towards astrology? Why is
For
it so?
sure.
I find it very unique. So can you just share with
Thanks.
me?
Thanks for asking, Myra. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm a writer. If anybody's interested, you can go on my website, and I'm going to be starting to produce books on my writings and philosophy. I'm a reflector in human design, which I think adds
Ah,
a weird twist to everything, as I like to think.
yes.
Now, as in terms of tropical Vedic astrology, that's what I practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, for everybody watching, it's important to know that Vedic astrology, uh, really, Vedic just means that it comes from the Indian tradition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, the Indian people have different ways of thinking about things. Like, for example, we have yogas in Vedic astrology. We have
Mm-hmm.
things called the Atma Karaka and the Karakas, which are
Mm-hmm.
very important. We have words for the planets that give
Mm-hmm.
a lot of detail about what those planets mean. For
Mm-hmm.
example, in the Indian tradition, we put a lot of emphasis on the planet that we call Guru, which is
Ah,
Jupiter.
ah.
And Jupiter in the West, I mean, Jupiter in some ways, I see it as being a little underemphasized in
Mm-hmm.
traditions outside of Indian because people almost treat it like an asteroid. But in the Indian tradition, the Vedic tradition, Jupiter is one of the seven classical
Uh-huh.
planets. And
Uh-huh.
it rules Sagittarius and Pisces classically. So there are in the Vedic tradition, there are many different ways of thinking and interpreting the astrology chart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's important to know that the Vedic tradition and the Greek tradition are two
Mm-hmm.
different ways of interpreting a chart.
Mm-hmm.
But most people think when you do Vedic astrology that you also have to do sidereal astrology.
Uh-huh.
So this is the sidereal tropical debate. If anybody's ever heard of it, it's a whole hairy rabbit hole to go down. But what can be simply understood is that you know, in the Western tradition, we say, around the 21st of the month is when things change. So we have a certain way of measuring the planets in the West, and we call that tropical astrology. In the Vedic tradition, uh, traditionally in India, it's particularly Indian astrologers, they have something called the sidereal measurements. It's where
Mm-hmm.
they take things 23 degrees. They
Uh-huh.
take
Okay,
things
okay.
23 degrees back. So I'm a Scorpio in the tropical tradition that
Uh-huh.
most Westerners recognize. But in the traditional Indian, I am a Libra.
Yeah.
So I go from Scorpio to Libra, I take it back. But in the tradition that I follow, I am a Vedic astrologer, but I use tropical measurements because I'm a
Uh-huh.
Westerner. I'm from Canada. So I don't take the
Yeah.
signs back like the Indian people do. But I do use their yogas, their their language for interpreting the symbols of astrology.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a neo approach
Yeah.
to astrology. And in our camp, in what we call tropical Vedic astrology, we say that this is how it was always intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
Things just happened in history that kind of confused the issue a little bit. And there's a lot to talk about there. It's a pretty hairy rabbit hole, like I
Yeah,
said.
yeah. No, but thanks for the clarification because I mean I don't know much about Vedic astrology. I think it from what the little things I watch on YouTube, it sounds fascinating, but
Hmm.
I did think that it was like sidereal kind of astrology. So I mean,
Right,
thanks for
right.
the clarification. But earlier you were mentioning something about human design. And
Hmm.
so tell us what it is and how do you merge human design with your astrological practice?
Well, that's a good question. To be honest with you, I like to throw around and tell people that I'm a reflector because it's the special one. They say the
Mm-hmm.
reflector is a very rare thing, and I
Mm-hmm.
throw it around all the time. I've read enough about it to see and understand it in myself, But to be honest with you, I'm not the right guy to ask. I do not know enough about human design
Okay.
to really speak with authority about it. But
Uh-huh.
it's something that I've researched enough to know that there is something to it. It's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
The guy who created it, it's kind of like it's an amalgamation of various astrological techniques that's very
Oh.
compelling. It's something that we should all keep an eye on because I think it is going to come through in the world as being very important. But
Uh-huh.
I don't feel I haven't studied it enough to say anything with authority.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. So you were mentioning that also you were born in November and you're Scorpio. So can you
Hmm.
share with us your big three
Sure.
and yeah, some like anything you'd like to share about your chart?
Oh, I'm happy to. Thanks for asking. It's funny. We've been on my channel, me and my a friend of mine, his name's Corey Dowds from Eye of the Veda. We're both
Uh-huh.
tropical Vedic astrologers, and we've been talking
Mm-hmm.
about the Vedic big three.
Uh-huh.
It's something that we've been kind of playing around with. But the bit for the big three that everybody knows, I am a Leo rising.
Ah,
You can kind of see that
I gotta
lion
explain
energy
the
inside of
hair.
me.
Yeah, amazing.
And I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of that Leo. I love the sound of my own voice, as I like to say.
You're also a singer, from what I watched.
A little bit, yep, yep. Singing is
Yeah.
something that I've been so into writing lately that with singing, you got to keep it up. You got to practice it.
Yeah.
And I love to sing, but it's something that I have to take the time to really master it. But I love to do it. I'm a musician.
Uh-huh.
I was in a band for a little while.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a Leo rising. I'm Scorpio sun at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
of the chart, and then I'm Sagittarius moon in the fifth
Oh,
house.
okay, okay, okay. Interesting.
And what I love to tell people, sorry, did you want to ask something about that?
No, 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 no. Go ahead. Go,
Yeah.
go on. Yeah.
What I love to tell people in the Vedic tradition, in the yep, the Vedic tradition, we have our own sort of big three that we kind of play with. We have something called the Atma Karaka,
Mm-hmm.
and the Atma Karaka is the planet with the highest degrees in the chart, not including
Ah.
the North Node, the South Node, or Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto.
Uh-huh.
It's the seven classical planets: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
The planet with
Mm-hmm.
the highest degrees is what's called the Atma Karaka. So I often like to tell people that Venus is my planet with the highest degrees.
Admakarka.
So
Mm-hmm.
Atma Karaka, that's
Mm-hmm.
right. So Atma means the soul, and then a
Ah.
Karaka is like a signal, an indicator of something. So the
Ah.
Atma Karaka is the soul indicating planet.
Okay.
So for me, I'm a Venus soul.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Mm-hmm.
see me, I'm a lion and I've got all my fire energy. But I consider myself to be a very soft Venus person. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
feminine sometimes, although Venus is feminine and masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga can be a very Venus thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in diet. I'm very passionate. I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I write a lot of poetry.
Yeah.
They say about Venus is that they have something called kavya, which means that they see a meaning where other people wouldn't see it. They sometimes, with Venus, if you have a strongly aspected Venus or
Yeah.
strong indicated Venus, you see things that other people don't see.
Oh, okay.
You can see a piece of art or a piece of poetry, and it is filled with deep symbolism and meaning. And another person might just see it as just, it's just the Mona Lisa. No big
I see.
deal.
I see. And so what are your favorite like astrology like branches? Today we have so many because astrology exploded since 2020, I think, and we have the vocational, the relationships, the evolutionary. So which one is
Mm.
your favorite and why?
Interesting. Well, of course, I am a tropical Vedic astrologer.
Uh-huh.
But I've studied a lot of evolutionary astrology
Uh-huh.
through Jeffrey Wolf Green.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Stephen Forrest is also calls himself a evolutionary astrologer, and not that he's not that. I think that they're just sharing the same. Stephen Forrest and Jeffrey Wolf Green are sharing the same word. But Jeffrey Wolf
Hmm.
Green is really big on. He's got his own tradition of Pluto. It's very
Yeah.
Pluto-centric. but
Yeah.
he's also really big on the North and South Node.
Hmm.
I really like his work a lot.
Hmm.
For me, when I do astrology, I mean, really, again, astrology, so many people come to astrology for so many different reasons. For me, it's a tool to help prompt self-reflection.
Nice. Hmm.
When I'm talking to a client, or when I'm talking with anybody about astrology, I can use it as an instrument to prod them to say, have you thought about this? It says in your chart that this might be happening. What do you think about that?
Mm.
And for me, I mostly study it. I began studying it in order to have knowledge about myself.
Uh-huh.
I wanted the chart to point out things to me and say, you have this pattern. Have you noticed this? And then for me to say, I had no idea I had that pattern. And then I'd research it, I'd digest and go, I do have that pattern.
Uh-huh.
For me, that's an incredible psychological
Hmm.
reflection tool,
That's
you know?
amazing. Yeah. So like you're more like on the psychological, yeah, evolutionary kind of like not path, but this is what really actually what brought you into astrology? Because maybe you had an experience, maybe it was just curiosity, or maybe you read a book. Like how did you start?
Good question. So now I've always been into yoga, as I said,
Uh-huh.
and I was reading a particular book on yoga. It's called Autobiography of a Yogi
Uh-huh.
by a guy named Paramahansa Yogananda. It's this little orange book.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite books. And so in this book, this fellow, his name's Paramahansa Yogananda.
Uh-huh.
He had a guru who was a Jyotishi. So his
Uh-huh.
guru did astrology. And Paramahansa Yogananda, his people call him Yogananda.
Mm-hmm.
He has this whole thing in his book where he says that we are beyond astrology. We have the ability to guide our life the way we want to. And so he took his kundli, which is his astrology chart, he put it in
Mm-hmm.
a little paper bag and he roasted it on the fire. And he
Wow.
said, I'm roasting the seeds of my karma with the fire of my concentration and dedication.
Uh-huh.
And his guru understood all this. He's like, yeah, we're different, you know,
Yeah.
because his guru was an astrologer. So he said, go
Uh-huh.
ahead, Yogananda, live beyond your astrology chart, or, speak that language, you know. And so Yogananda was big about this. And it was important because it is important to understand that astrology really reflects our karma, which
Mm-hmm.
is what we've done. And karma sets up a trajectory for what we can expect to happen in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's like a ball rolling down a hallway. Wherever you launch the ball, it has a trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
But anything can happen to make that
Mm-hmm.
ball change its trajectory along the way.
Right.
And so this is why Yogananda said this, is that I am in control of my fate and destiny ultimately. But it's like a snake.
Mm-hmm.
The snake can turn its head wherever it wants. But what's behind the head is the momentum that came before. So it's free will and it's destiny. They're both wrapped together. And Yogananda was big on the free will part, on moving the head of the snake. You can't change your past, but you can change your
How you get there.
trajectory, your
Uh-huh.
your reaction, right?
Mm.
So I read Yogananda and I thought, oh, so this astrology stuff is stupid. So Yogananda said this astrology stuff, people are wasting their time. And I was a, you know, smart ass to use the right word.
Okay.
Uh, and I wanted to tell people, all you idiots doing astrology, like you guys are idiots. I can't believe you guys are falling for this crap. But for me, I have to, I have a scientific mind.
Uh-huh.
When I'm amongst mystical people, I come off as very scientific and rational.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm amongst a bunch of rational people and scientific minded
Oh.
people, I'm very mystical. I'm
Mhm.
very airy, hairy. I'm way out there.
Yeah.
So, uh, what I wanted to do is I wanted to prove to these idiots that astrology's stupid.
Mm.
So I went and started reading an astrology book. It's a very particular book. It's called Sextrology.
Sex,
Uh,
like sex astrology.
Sextrology.
Oh my
Yep,
God,
it's
you're a
a red and
Scorpio.
white
Yeah, that
book.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
you got it. I'm a Scorpio. I read Sextrology and I read
Yeah.
all about what it says about Scorpio, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this is true, is what
Right.
I said. So I started reading about different things. One of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons is because I have a strong Scorpio energy in my chart. So
Uh-huh.
all the things I read about Scorpio, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. Like this isn't just, you know how they say you read a book about your astrology, and it's like, oh, anybody could say that.
Uh-huh.
Anybody could feel those things. No, I was reading this and it's telling me about like how I grew up. It's telling me about my body. It's
Mm-hmm.
telling me about the things that I might dream about, like all this stuff. And I was completely blown away.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So I started learning that there's other things that you could check out in an astrology chart.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out that if you find out the time of your birth, you learn something that's called your rising sign.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
alters the chart and puts all the planets in a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
When I read that I was a Leo rising and I heard all the things about Leo rising, I was like, okay, okay, I'm an astrologer. I get it, universe. You're trying to make me an astrologer. I understand. And I was completely
Amazing.
blown away by how much I matched the things that I read about myself when I looked up my planets and their signs and my rising sign and everything like that. I could not
Mm-hmm.
believe it. I was blown away.
Wow. So, okay, you have this realization, and then when do you decide to like to follow the path of astrology and like start giving readings, or how was that
Mhm.
journey of like self-discovery, and then let's put it out there or
Yeah,
share it.
good
Yeah.
good question, Myra.
Uh-huh.
So for about probably about 5 or 6 years, I read a lot about astrology.
Uh-huh.
There's plenty of great books. One of my favorites is by Stephen Arroyo. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it here on me, but it's a book describing a lot about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, as well
Uh-huh.
as the water houses. He takes a lot of his, excuse me, the psychology of astrology. He takes it from Carl Jung.
Uh-huh.
So I read this book about astrology. It's called Astrology, Karma, and Transformation.
Mm.
And it talks about how basically the what that book is all about is that in order to understand how you want to evolve, you should try to think about what you have been,
Mm-hmm.
because evolution builds itself on what came before.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a person who is strong, that usually means that you feel like you're weak in some way. If you want to be a person who is more expressive, that might mean that you're a little bit introverted.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to evolve into depends on what you're coming from. That's your karma. Karma, it's looked at as a bad thing, but really your
Mm-hmm.
karma is the place where you stand in order for the plant to bloom and to grow and to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Karma, it's I don't regard it as being a bad or an evil thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's where we all stand. It's our past. You can't change the
Mm-hmm.
past, right? So I started reading these books that talk about the psychology of astrology and put it in a Jungian archetypal framework,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that I just am very sensitive to. I can see the archetypes when I
Mm-hmm.
read astrology, and I would read these books, I could see these archetypes. So for about 5 years after I read that sextrology book, I was fascinated. So for 5 years, I started playing with astrology and reading books on it. I didn't go to college or anything like that, so I've always just been an artist who
Mm-hmm.
works like odd jobs. But I consider myself a very studious person. So I
Mm-hmm.
took the reading of these books very seriously. I
Hmm.
didn't think that there was an astrology university out there. I didn't think I could go to school for astrology.
Ah.
So I just read my own books and I
Mm.
took that very seriously for about 5 years. And then in 2018, I found out that there is an astrologer who practices tropical Vedic astrology. I went into sidereal in 2017 and I
Mhm.
thought, oh, I must be a Libra. I must be a Cancer rising. And then I did that for about a year. And then I came back to tropical astrology. And I said, no, I'm a Scorpio. Because I'm such a lover of yoga
Hmm.
and all things Indian, I'm obsessed with all things Indian. I'm a
Hmm.
psychedelics person.
Hmm.
In the 1960s, people were taking psychedelic
Hmm.
medicines and they were getting into meditation.
Hmm.
The Beatles
Yeah.
went to India and they saw the Maharishi and they all that stuff happened. I
Hmm.
considered myself a hippie and I very much identified with that whole era and all
Uh-huh.
things Indian. Uh, as time went on, I kind of learned that consciousness is more important than the instruments that get you to them. Psychedelics are cool, but yoga is what psychedelics are pointing at,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Love, truth, self-realization. That's what all that stuff in the 60s was pointing at. So,
Hmm.
in 2018, I found a teacher who practices what I call tropical Vedic astrology,
Hmm.
which is someone who has the Indian tradition of astrology, all the names, all the understandings, the yogas, there's things called yogas, there's Shadbala, all this stuff that's unique to Vedic astrology,
Hmm.
but they were doing it with Western measurements.
Hmm.
His name was Ernst Wilhelm,
Hmm.
and there's another person who was in his circle named Ryan Kirksack.
Uh-huh.
Ryan Kirksack had a school, like an apprenticeship, and he still has it. You can find it.
Mm.
It's called
Mm.
AshevilleVedicAstrology.com. At the time, it was a 4-year course, and he was very intensive about it. Uh, so there was 3 semesters. I started in 2018 or
Hmm.
2019. Excuse me, 2019.
Hmm.
Just while COVID and that whole thing was starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
In 2019, there was 3 semesters. I did 1, 2, 3 semesters, and then 2020 was another 3 semesters. 2021 was another 3 semesters. So I took 3 years of a
Wow.
pretty intensive Vedic astrology school through Ryan. And
Hmm.
there's that much to it. There's a lot to astrology, especially the Vedic tradition. And
Yeah.
there's still so much to learn. And then in the final year, Ryan kicked me into the water and said, sink or swim. You got to learn to swim, buddy. So what he said was, uh, you have to go out and find, I think it was about 52 charts. You have to do 52 readings for people on a donation basis.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
You can ask for however much money you want, but he said go out there and just do it basically by donation, which
Wow.
means I was doing, I'd sit with a person, I'd read their chart for an hour or two, and then they'd give me 20 bucks, 40 bucks, which is, I would read their chart for like 4 hours and then I'd see them for like an hour or two because I wanted to make sure that I was doing this right. And it was very
Hmm.
draining.
I
But
can
eventually,
imagine.
through doing that, my teacher forced me to learn how much energy do I put into a chart reading? How
Mm.
much energy do I put into seeing them for an hour or two? How
Yeah.
much money is that worth? How much time is it worth? It was all very hard and felt strange and very difficult, very
Hmm.
difficult. But that was the best part of that training. For anybody who
Hmm.
wants to be an astrologer, I I think it's a very good thing in the beginning depending, not everyone would want to do it this way, but you got to get out there at some point.
Yeah.
You could think that like I've got to wait till I'm perfect before I do astrology.
Hmm.
This allowed me to I would have studied the rest of my life and never done a reading
Of
if my
course.
teacher
Yeah.
didn't kick me off the boat.
Of
Said just
course.
get out there and do it and then come
Yeah.
back and show me a report. So I would get the client to write a report for me and then I
Oh,
would write
wow.
a report and send them both to Ryan. And then he would say, good, good. You know, if I something went wrong, he would say he would ask me about why this client reading went wrong, and we would talk
Mm,
about it, and he'd be like, "Okay, good. Those things happen," and
mm,
then we would move on. Ryan was a great teacher for me in that regard. I was very lucky, very blessed for him to be that interested in me growing as an astrologer. He's a
mm,
tough as nails guy.
mm.
He's got a lot of things in his chart that are good for me in
Yeah.
my chart, right? He kicked my ass basically, and that's exactly what I needed to be serious about this, to treat this as something that, when you're an astrologer, in some ways, it's good to be honest when you don't know something. It's good to be honest when I think this could be a thing, but ultimately you're holding people's destiny in your hands.
Yeah, yeah, and emotions, and I mean, it's something that shouldn't be taken lightly, I think.
For
Not at
sure.
all. Yeah.
For sure. But on
Wow.
the other hand, if you take it so seriously that you never get out there and do it, then we're never
Right.
going to have any astrologers out there.
That's true. That's true.
It's a fine balance.
So, Dustin, I think you're probably, yeah, you're the youngest astrologer I've interviewed so far. So I
Excellent.
wanted I wanted
I'm
to
honored.
to bring like a fresh voice, obviously, because I mean we have our like astrologers from the 60s that are now, our teachers. But as someone from the young generation, I'm assuming you're also Gen Z.
I'm a bit more like millennial. I'm
Millennial.
born 1991.
91. Yeah, yeah. So where do you see astrology in the future? What would be
Hmm.
your like as a like as a young astrologer, where
Hmm.
would you like it to be in the future?
Well, uh, that's an interesting question. I see it in two ways. Number one is where do I see astrology on the whole going?
Hmm.
And then the other side of it is what does it mean to me in
Hmm.
my future? I know for myself that I'm very blessed. I think the universe has guided me to come into astrology at a time where technology was just starting to boot up.
Hmm.
I was just in the generation just before the internet came out,
Hmm.
and then the internet came out. And so I can see what the internet is in context.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful tool. I have a YouTube channel, and
Hmm.
I'm lucky to still have people who watch my show.
Hmm.
Uh, People come for a topic on astrology and they stay for the vibration of the astrologer,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
Astrology is
think
an
so
art
too.
and a science.
Yeah.
So I was lucky I enjoy talking. I love the sound of my own voice.
Hmm.
And I do this YouTube channel where with astrology, you can teach about things. There's so much that no one's talked about.
Hmm.
I'm doing a video series right now on the moon and its signs, and I do
Hmm.
one video a month. I come out and say, "Okay, everybody, we're doing Cancer Moon this month."
Uh-huh.
In the same way, I'm doing the nakshatras, which is Vedic astrology's unique 27 constellations, and I just
Hmm.
come out once a month and I talk about that. So
Hmm.
people come for the information and they're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I like this guy's vibe."
Yeah.
It's not that I'm amazing; it's that there are some people, I don't think anybody is like some people are universally amazing.
Uh-huh.
But in the case of when you're finding an astrologer, it's a it's not that the person is amazing, it's that I like this person, right? This person
Yeah.
is the kind of
It's
person I want to listen to. It's a
yeah, it's like
subjective,
uh-huh. I think it's both ways, right? Like, okay, I like this person, but you might not like him, or you maybe
right?
find him annoying. So it's like the vibe you pick up, I guess, and how
For sure.
comfortable you feel, no?
Yep, for sure, for sure. So I have been enjoying leaning into that. I've spent a lot of time, YouTube and teaching online, becoming a teacher in that way. It's its own whole crazy bag. But
Yeah.
for me, I love to do it and it gets me a lot of clients. I do have a
Hmm.
lot of people who say, "Hey, Dustin, I love the way you do astrology. I'd love for you to do my astrology chart."
Hmm.
So for me, astrology has become this thing that I can do anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If I have my microphone and my camera, I can take my laptop, I can go to Spain and sit
Hmm.
in a little cafe or in my little hostel and I
Hmm.
can do my work. I get paid the money that I get from the person, and then I get to keep doing all the other things that I do.
Hmm.
So it's a very it's tough to make it tough tough to make it a full living
Hmm.
until you start getting lots of clients. You
Yeah.
know, even now I have other things that I'm blessed to be making money from.
Right.
You know, it's excuse me. It can be tough to make a living off of it. It's a slow grind to get yourself to the point where you have that many people coming in
Yeah.
looking for a reading all the time. But eventually you get people who are like, Dustin, I loved how you did it 3 years ago. We
Hmm.
did an astrology reading. Now I need you again for to have your voice talk with me about another thing.
Hmm.
So for me, it's a wonderful tool that I'm always going to have. I'm always going to do it. And not only it's not just for the money, it's also I'm contributing to
Hmm.
consciousness. For
Hmm.
me, it's a spiritual thing as well. When
Hmm.
I do a good reading and me and the person both know that I helped them figure something out
Hmm.
that my unique capacity as as an astrologer, as a psychologist minded person, as a counselor, I help them see themselves in a context that is no one else could see themselves that
Hmm.
could show them.
Hmm. Hmm.
That to me is it's a spiritual thing for me as
Yeah.
well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So those are my answers. It's very practical. It's
Hmm.
very, I can make my own schedule. I can
Yeah.
travel with it. And it's a spiritual service to the
Yeah.
world. And I get things back from it. Not
Yeah.
that, you know, when it comes to spirituality,
Yeah.
you don't do things expecting a return. But the universe, I put in my work for the universe through my Saturn, I call it. And the
Yeah.
universe supports me through that service that I do.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's just an incredible. That's the best answer I could give for what astrology is. It's just,
Hmm.
me high-fiving the universe and it high-fiving back,
Nice.
right?
That's interesting. So let's talk about the business part of astrology because I think it's something if you've been an astrologer or you've been doing readings, I think we all struggle in the beginning because nowadays, you need to build your own community. You need to, I mean, for me personally, and I don't want to talk about me too much, but it was like a personal journey of discovering, like, okay, I want to do astrology, but like, who am I? Why am I doing it? What's my vibe? Like, it was
Mhm.
a whole journey that I now stopped a little bit because, I have like this transits hitting me all over. But then making money, yeah, I think it's part of like it's a little bit a challenge for some other astrologers. It comes easier, but I think the business part of astrology, it's there. So how
Mhm.
how do you deal with that business side of astrology?
Good. These are great questions.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's great that what you're doing. I think you must have some cool seventh house energy happening in your chart
Oh, you don't
because
want to know.
yeah, well, obviously some of it's working for you because you're putting in the effort to serve the people in your community and
Oh,
you're getting your face out there and you're doing what I'm talking about. You're doing some good Saturn work, which means you put into the community and the community serves you.
I
That's
have
Saturn.
Saturn in the seventh house.
So do I. I had a feeling that you did. God bless you. Well, my
Thanks.
Saturn thanks your Saturn. High five.
In
You know?
Scorpio.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, you're Taurus
Yeah.
rising. Lovely.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right? You're Taurus rising?
I'm Taurus rising. Yeah.
Cool. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes to, I talk about this side of things a lot, is getting out there. That's why I
Yeah.
often tell that story of my teacher kicking my ass to
Hmm.
just go out there and do some donation readings in the beginning.
Hmm.
Now, what's nice is that around the time I was in school,
Hmm.
uh, something that helped me, I got in at a lucky time to do
Hmm.
this sort of thing because AI is making things a little different for
Yeah.
people for YouTube. So what I did, I've got books that talk about, so, okay, so there's a reading. that you can get where, for example, you have the sun sign and the moon sign.
Mm-hmm.
So since 2013, 2014,
Mm-hmm.
I had this thing where I wanted to learn about astrology. And
Mm-hmm.
so in order to learn about it, I wanted to read it. And I thought if I'm going to read it, I might as well also go on a camera and videotape myself reading it,
Ah.
right? So I read this book and it's sun sign, moon sign. So I went from Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries sun, Taurus moon, Aries sun, Gemini moon, Aries sun, Cancer moon. And I would go through
Oh,
all of them, all 12 of
the
those. And
combinations.
yes, you got it. The all because there's 12 sun signs and 12
Uh-huh.
moon signs.
Uh-huh.
Altogether, there's 144 different
Yeah.
combinations.
Wow.
I read them all because I wanted to learn about astrology. So if I want to know what Aries is, you really have to know what Taurus and Gemini and Cancer and Leo and Virgo and Libra is. So you know Aries is opposite Libra. It's trine Leo and Sagittarius. It's
Mm-hmm.
square Cancer and Capricorn.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things tell you about what Aries is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I knew that. I intrinsically knew that. So what I did was, in order to just get a sense of it, it's like I'm like a musician, you know? When you're
Mm-hmm.
playing a G chord, when you go to a C chord, a different chord, you're like, if you need to see the other chord in the context of the first chord.
Uh-huh.
One
Yes.
chord stands on its own. It's like seeing the color red on its own. You just see a
Mm-hmm.
red picture. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't even mean anything. But if you throw some blue in there, it's like, oh, there's a contrast. You know,
Uh-huh.
now I know what red really is.
Right,
So
I
it's the
got you.
same way, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With astrology, I wanted to see those differences.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to read this book and go through all the combinations. And I
Nice.
thought while I'm doing it, I might as well go on camera and go on my microphone and go through all 144 combinations and
Oh
then put them on
wow.
YouTube,
Oh wow,
right?
that's how you started?
Yep, that's how I did it, is that
Amazing.
I put those on there. Now, these days, I was lucky I did that. Those videos got a lot of views.
Nice.
Now, these days, it's likely the case that in a couple years, someone's just going to look up my combination. I've got Sun in Scorpio, Moon in Sagittarius. Tell me about it. And the
Mm-hmm.
AI is probably going to borrow from the videos that I did
Yeah.
and take the information and give it to the person through AI.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some views. People know me, they saw my face, and that was a great lucky start for me.
Nice.
So these days, people have got to learn what's going to happen with AI, learn how to, learn what they've got to do to contribute to the community, just like you are. I
Mm.
think it's a great thing that what you're doing because AI can't catch what you're doing
Oh, I hope
because
so.
you are
I don't know.
you're a real person interviewing
Yeah.
real people. You
Right.
can't,
Right.
AI can do a lot, but it can't replicate personalities.
Mm-hmm. I
I mean, at
get you.
some level it
Mm.
can eventually, but there's all, I'm Dustin Cormier. There's no
Right.
AI that's ever going to be what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is an example of how people have to think of what can I do to contribute to the education sphere
Uh-huh.
and to put my vibration out there at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
Interesting. Very
think that
interesting.
reading from books has been a great way for me to do it. Because a lot of the times when I first started, I'm not a genius astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started, I would read from books, whatever book I feel like reading. And when people come to me, they know I would say, okay, everybody, this is Stephen Arroyo's chart
Chart
interpretation handbook.
interpretation.
Yeah, it's a good one, right?
Yeah.
And, I would say, all right, so we're reading about the ascendant, and we've got the ascendant in Libra. So this is from this book, everybody. So when I'm reading it, even if what I'm reading is not, excuse me, is not like 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong because I'm reading from a book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
Mm-hmm.
people want to hear this book, they can hear it on my channel,
That's really
right?
cool. And then you
So
give your like approach, I'm
You got
imagining.
it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yep. I would say so. This is what I think about what he just said,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
then ultimately, people would get my vibration and how I think about things,
Mm-hmm.
and they would be getting that reading from that book.
Very
So
interesting.
that's an example of something for someone who's trying to start out,
Yeah.
getting an excuse and an opportunity to contribute to the community and to get themselves out there at the same time,
Yeah.
to get their
Yeah.
vibration out there, right?
Yeah, and I think now the new, our new generation is also, bringing astrology mixed with something else, and they make their own kind of like unique method. And I mean, there are so many ways to use astrology in the end. So I think the new generations are bringing more these like combinations, like I don't know, astrology at work, astrology and babies, or whatever it is.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so I
Mm-hmm.
think there is a lot to, I mean, to offer in that regard,
For
right?
sure. And I think it's worth
Yeah.
saying too that I have Saturn in the seventh house.
Uh-huh.
One of the and that's a Saturn likes to be there. I've got a nice happy Saturn. I'm very happy with it in my chart. And how I think about that is that what's a good thing for people to consider
Hmm.
is finding a niche,
Hmm.
instead of necessarily, is that
Hmm.
one of the reasons that I have stood out in my own perspective of
Yeah, yeah.
myself is that I am contributing to a niche community.
Hmm.
So I'm a tropical Vedic astrologer,
Hmm.
a very
Hmm.
specific community. And I had a teacher who taught me all of the nuanced things about this particular school of astrology.
Mm.
So when I went out there, I would say, this is my lineage, and this is who I learned from, and this is what I'm talking
Mm.
about today.
Okay,
So
okay.
now that way people can see that, with astrology, it's kind of like eating a meal.
Hmm.
Truth be told, like I'm someone at Thanksgiving, I just put the potatoes and the gravy, I just smash it all together because I
Yeah.
just love it all in my mouth at the same time.
Uh-huh.
But if you're gonna be a good chef,
Hmm.
let's say you're making Italian,
Hmm.
you stick to Italian. You're
Hmm.
gonna have Italian eggplant with oregano and basil. You're gonna have a pasta. You're gonna have cheese. You're gonna have wine. Make the whole thing Italian. Because
Hmm.
then we're eating Italian today. It's one unit of
Oh, I see where
consciousness,
you're going. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
You don't, let's have like some yogurt and let's have some hummus and let's have some French fries, right
Right.
next to my pasta. Like you don't want to mix things up in that way when you're a good
Mm.
chef, because then people come for the catered experience of the one unitary
Oh,
thing.
that's such a nice way to put it. Yeah, you're right.
you
Yeah.
know? And I think as astrologers, when you can start doing that, doesn't mean you can't mix things up. I'm definitely somebody who mixes things up.
Hmm.
But I have contributed again to a community that people now recognize me for as being a part of a lineage.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think that that is a way to solidify for people instead of being scattered,
Right?
instead of becoming scrambled eggs. You start
Yeah.
off trying to make an omelet and it turns into scrambled eggs. Then people, it's nice when, again, people can recognize I'm not just coming to you for you. Although a lot of people come to me because I'm Dustin Cormier, they know that Dustin Cormier is going to give them tropical Vedic astrology.
Yeah. I
It's
get
my
you.
unique take on it, and I bring my own things into it.
Claro.
But that pillar helps people to know, what am I looking for in an astrologer? I'm looking
Hmm.
for this particular thing.
That's a
And
good
I know that
question.
Dustin has that particular thing. This helps
Yeah.
people to get a grip on you for what you have to offer as an astrologer
I think it's
instead
a
of just being
brilliant,
scattered.
yeah, it's a brilliant question for like for people who are listening to astrology to actually question what do I look for in astrology, no? Because in the Spanish community from where I'm from, I see many like people just complaining in the comments, like, oh, he didn't do that or he did, la la. Like it's different. The audiences are different in English and
Mhm.
Spanish, I have to say.
Oh,
But in
interesting.
the end, I think what you said is so important. Okay, she didn't do that, or he didn't say that, or you're not. What are you looking for
Mm,
an astrologer? I think it's a very valid question to actually,
totally.
before we listen to someone, is what do I want to get? I mean, if you want to get how does the next week looks, that's valid. But if
Hmm.
you want
Hmm.
to do that and you come to Dustin, who is much more profound and in depth, then maybe not. Like I think people tend to forget that they also need to question certain things, especially in social media environments.
Hmm.
um
Hmm.
what do you
Yeah, and to
think?
get for sure, it's nice for a person when they are, I don't expect to be the be all end all. That's another thing astrologers have to understand is that do you want to be everything or do you want to be good at a specific type of astrology?
Mm-hmm.
Because by trying to be everything to everybody, you might be a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is one of the things that I see is it weakens our astrology. If I was an astrology client, what
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do is if I want to look 5 years ahead into the future, I want to go to a tropical Vedic astrologer who I know has studied that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to go to an evolutionary astrologer
Uh-huh.
who I know has studied that. And then I want to go to a human design practitioner who I
Mm-hmm.
know has studied that. And then I want to go to a classical Western astrologer who I know has studied that.
Mm-hmm.
Each time it's like a color by numbers.
Yeah.
I want the green to stay green. I want the orange to stay orange. I want the
Mm-hmm.
red to stay red. Then I can
Mm-hmm.
paint this, I can get a sense that I've checked every chapter. I've looked at every color in the color palette of my
Mm-hmm.
crayon box.
Yeah.
Now, when you don't do that, when it's just like I want to go see this person, and then I want to
Mm-hmm.
go see this person. If you're seeing people and you're getting different ideas of your future, if there's no label, if
I
there's no
see.
school, if they don't come from a solid school, then it becomes like, what do they mean? Like who do I follow more?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I like this person more, but should you go with an astrologer just necessarily because you like them more? Or should they be presenting a clear color in the color palette? You know those color by number pictures. Do you know
Yeah.
those? It's like the number one and it's going to be green
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the, right?
I love
S-
colors. Psychology
right,
of
me,
color.
there's a lot there for sure.
Yeah.
But that's my point is that it's good for astrologers and clients to recognize that lineage makes our approach a lot clearer. There's no best lineage. We're all speaking different languages about the same reality. And
Yes.
so the more clear we are about each individual language, about each individual lineage,
Mm-hmm.
about each individual tradition,
Mm-hmm.
the more we can organize them and harmonize them.
Yeah. I
You
like
know,
that. Yeah.
I think that this is important in today's astrology approach because there's so many different types of astrology. We don't want to make it so that it's all a hodgepodge of data that has no organization.
I think that's
That's me being a very
brilliant.
Virgo person.
You have something in Virgo, I'm wondering.
Yeah, yes, I sure do. I got Jupiter and Venus there, actually.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. So I have Virgo moon. So yeah.
Hmm.
So that's brilliant because I was thinking that, also I think people that like us that were using astrology, we also need to question things before blaming the astrologer because he didn't tell me what I expected or,
Mm.
or the answers I was hoping for or the guidance. So that's a really, really cool, interesting thing to that you
Thanks.
brought up.
I think I would
And
also say, not only what you've mentioned, but a lot of the times people
mm,
will come to me expecting a certain type of answer, and
mm,
I give them the answer that Dustin would give them because I
mm-hmm,
know what side my bread is buttered on. I know what I'm best to give as an
Right.
astrologer.
Yeah.
Now, that's why it's good for people, I think, to go to when you're looking for something, when really something really important is going on in your life,
Mm-hmm.
unless you don't have the money for it, but to see more than one astrologer. Because
Yeah.
even if you come to an astrologer and he's got a bit, every astrologer does a bit of everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
go to your business astrologer, you get a certain perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure no matter what, they're going to give you something that's useful. My point is that whatever they give you will be good,
Mm-hmm.
but it will be seen in a more clear context if you also see another astrologer.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
get you.
see them from two different lenses, two different vantage points, because every
Yeah.
astrologer is going to bring something different to the inquiry.
Yeah, yeah. And I think also in Spanish we have a say like we all share from where we come from, meaning that even in our practice we bring up like, unconsciously certain experiences. That's
Hmm.
why I've been finding out with these interviews that every astrologer has a particular journey, and then hence or ergo the astrology they do. It's so
Right.
interesting.
Totally.
So yeah, that's brilliant. But Dustin, coming back to you, are there any like transits in your chart that you're like looking forward to in 2026 or challenging ones that you're like, oh, this Pluto square Pluto, whatever you're going through, can you share something with us about on
Yeah,
that note?
I'd say well, Pluto square Pluto is going on for me. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I'm very excited about what's called Bourbeau's basket,
Yes.
if you've ever heard of it.
I heard your
It's
interview with Steve and you brought it up, so
right,
yes.
right. So that's Pluto is in Aquarius now.
Hmm.
Neptune is going to be at the first degree of Aries,
Hmm.
and then Uranus is at the beginning of Gemini in
Hmm.
2026.
Hmm.
Uh, those 3 points, all coming into masculine signs,
Hmm.
being in a trine and with the Neptune and the sextile, are all
Yeah.
very interesting, especially for anybody who has planets around 1 degree of Libra,
Uh-huh.
because that's the handle of the basket,
Ah,
right? That's the
yes.
umbrella point. So the handle of the basket.
Oh, I know someone. Okay, okay, go on.
Well, my Venus is right there. So Venus is my ruling
Oh,
planet. So
yeah.
I'm excited. I can feel that stuff happening. Uh,
Oh,
I
wow.
have I have Saturn at the beginning excuse me. I have Saturn at the beginning of Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
So Pluto going
Ah.
through my Saturn right now has been ringing me and causing me to change my approach to life, my approach to money. I've
Ah,
taken on a
yeah,
very
you're from
mature approach.
1991. You are going
Yep,
through that Saturn Pluto thing. Oh, yeah,
I
please tell us
sure am.
more.
Oh
Tell us
yeah,
more.
it's been great for me because I think that I have a good Saturn. According to
Uh-huh.
Tropical Vedic Astrology, I got Saturn coming out of my ears.
Uh-huh.
It's very well placed by being in Aquarius, its own
Yeah.
sign.
Uh-huh.
And it's happy in the seventh house.
Uh-huh.
So for me, lots of very positive changes have been happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, particularly with regard to my heart,
Mm-hmm.
living with a heart.
Mm-hmm.
There's been things that are moving through me that are teaching me the importance of living, thinking about my heart, thinking about like what do I want to have, and meeting my opposite gender in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
meeting womankind in the middle as a man, showing up as a man. Yeah, so I'm somebody who I think especially while Pluto was going through Capricorn, I'm somebody I went through a real non-binary phase. I was
Mm-hmm.
exploring like bisexuality, really exploring the depths of all different sorts of sexuality for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an important journey I'm still a very feminine guy and I'm still like almost like two-spirited, as people would say.
Uh-huh.
But I present as masculine. I present as a man. And as a man, I'm looking for a woman partner. I've landed there. It's been good for me because a lot of people, as guys, were afraid to play around with that area. It's like, oh no, I caught the gay, and now I'm gay forever. So I played
Mm.
around with it myself and felt it. And now
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the other side of it. And, you know, I think it's been very good for me to explore all of this in understanding what my masculinity is and what a woman is and what her femininity is.
Mm-hmm.
So Pluto's going through my seventh house,
Yeah.
going over my Saturn. I've had a lot of experiences of what does it mean for me to invest in building a life that meets my partner in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never thought about things that way. I've always been almost like it's been a long thing for me. It's like I was expecting somebody to show up in my life because I work so hard at the things I do. I work so hard on my astrology channels. I do things for
Mm-hmm.
my friends. God's just going to give me a lover, surely, for all this stuff that I've done. But now I'm learning that I kind of have to show up. I have to manifest it. I have to
Uh-huh.
think about it. And one of the very important things in that regard has been money. I used to be smoke a lot of pot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, money is controlled by the feds in America and they print dollar bills, and so the money is
You're
worth
right.
nothing anyway. I went through a whole phase like that, but I've gotten into investing and I've
Mm-hmm.
learned very well. I've taken a lot of time to understand a well-diversified portfolio of investments, and
Mm-hmm.
I take a chunk of my money and I put it away as an investment. I try to put in $500 a month into an investment that is now
Nice.
growing for me. Uh, I've learned my own way of doing investments for the long haul. You know, you put your money into diversified equity stocks, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
do like big ETFs, which hold like 9,000 different stocks all over the world. Because
Mm-hmm.
the stock market is always going up,
Mm-hmm.
especially because the feds are printing money like it's candy.
Mm-hmm.
So hard assets are always going to be going up in value. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of me just making money disappear, holding it in these investments is going to make my money grow. This is something that when I think about it, I'm investing in a concrete manifestation of the
Mm-hmm.
love that I seek in my heart. I don't want to just
Oh,
dream about the
okay.
love that I want. I want to put in time and energy investment. I wear my own cologne that I've worked out. It's basically
Ah,
patchouli,
that's
patchouli
so
and
nice.
sandalwood, right? And I do it with intention. I think about like, I would love the lover that I manifest and receive in
Oh,
my life to know that I'm there with them, that I'm thinking about them, that I'm doing
wow.
things to think about them in this way. And I know it sounds sweet, but the sad part is these are all things that I never thought about.
No, but
I just expected a woman to just
yeah.
come and just fall into my arms.
No, but the
And Saturn,
intention that you're working on the intention, I think that's really cool, like powerful even, that you,
thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for
that's
saying
really
that, Myra.
nice. I don't know. So, Dustin, tell us, are you teaching now? Are you like giving readings right now? What are you up to, and where can we find you if we want to work with you?
Thank you, Myra. Thank you for asking. So my big thing right now is I'm writing books.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anybody wants to see the books that I've got coming through,
Mm-hmm.
I've got a website. You can go to
Mm-hmm.
dustincormier.com.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to be to know what's happening with me, you can go to dustincormier.com/subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Or on my
Mm-hmm.
website, you'll find an email list that you can subscribe
Mm-hmm.
to.
Yes,
And
guys.
there,
Yes.
yep, when you go there, you'll be able to see that's me, and you'll
Uh-huh.
be able to see and hear when I have these new books coming out. I've got an
Mm-hmm.
astrology book coming out sometime in the next, sometime before I die, hopefully. They do take their time as I'm learning.
Yeah.
But what I'm most excited about for the world of astrology, I'm writing a poetry book right now called The Dirty
Mm-hmm.
Virgo Diaries.
What?
Totally. And
That's
I'm
so cool.
Totally. So for me, I'm got a lot of Virgo in my chart. It's not just because Virgo and Venus, Jupiter and Venus are there. My Atmakarika Venus is in Virgo, and it's what's called Vargatama. So Virgo is my Swamsha for
Mm-hmm.
those who are into Vedic astrology. So I'm very Virgo. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing this book, and Virgo is the place where Venus is debilitated.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so this book that I'm writing about poetry It's very romantic and it's dirty. It has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sexual stuff in it. But it's also talks about how it's kind of unsexy in a lot of ways because I talk about all the things that I had to do, my mother and father, what they did that caused me childhood difficulty, that made me
Mm-hmm.
not trust my own sexuality, that made me not trust women,
Mm-hmm.
and at times when I've been rejected when I was in high school, like those
Mm-hmm.
that fucking bitch, like this
Mm-hmm.
kind of I really come out with this angle to describe the ugly shadow side of romance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but within it are these gems of learning that to forgive womankind and to forgive myself, to forgive my parents, and
Mm-hmm.
realize that we're all actually beautiful, but we have to see through our own mud, see through the dirt on the mirror
Yeah, 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 yeah.
in
You're
order to
right.
see that women are the most beautiful thing. Because I'm a man, woman is the most beautiful thing
Mm-hmm.
because they are my complementary opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But men are also beautiful. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
is beautiful. We just have to see through our own bullshit. And that's what the Dirty Virgo Diary is all
Oh my
about.
God,
It's
I can't
very
wait.
raw.
So when is it coming? More or
I
less.
think within the next 2 years, that one's
That's
going to
so
come
cool.
out.
Congratulations. That's really cool.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it. So, for
Yeah.
everybody who wants to check me out, you can check out my website.
Mm-hmm.
As well, if you want to see all the things I'm doing with astrology, you can go to
Mm-hmm.
How to Rock Astrology on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
That's where
how to
I.
rock Australia. Guys, I'm gonna leave Dustin's social media, his website in the description below or in the comment. You're gonna see a pinned comment. Maybe it's gonna be there. So, so Dustin, you have here on my services, you have a full reading and a cold reading.
Mhm.
So can you tell us the difference so people know?
Certainly. Thank you, Myra. That's a great question. So, I do offer cold readings. And what that means is I don't study the chart before I meet with you. I just meet
Mm,
you, I bring up your chart, and it's like, okay, so what's your birth time? And I look up your birth time and I go, okay,
ah,
so what do you want to talk about? And when I do that, I charge $1 per minute. So it's $60 for an hour,
okay, 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 okay.
right? Now, people can just like, Dustin, I just have a quick question about something.
Right.
I could talk with you for a half an hour and it'll be only 30 bucks American,
That's
right?
brilliant.
So what I'd prefer for people to do most of the
Mm,
time, uh, take it with how many grains of salt you wish, but it's, I prefer the best thing is to do the full reading. It
mm-hmm,
costs $200
mm-hmm,
and I sit with you and I read your chart for about an hour and a half before I meet with you.
mm-hmm,
And I take the time to really digest everything in your chart because the chart speaks to you. Now,
mm-hmm,
this is the reason why I think this is the best way to do it.
mm-hmm.
If, let's say if I go to the doctor and I say, "Hey doctor, I've got a nosebleed. Can you give me some tissue to like stuff up there or can you give me a pill to make my nose stop
Yeah,
bleeding?"
yeah,
And the doctor goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Why is your nose bleeding?
right.
Let's find that out first. And then we'll
Mm.
deal with if I'm going to give you a pill or something like that. You don't go into the doctor and say, "Hey, doctor, I need you to do this." What you do is you come to the doctor and you say, "Doctor, what's wrong with me?"
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
when you
yeah.
ask the doctor like that, you be respectful. You ask the doctor what's wrong with you.
Mm,
The doctor looks at everything
mm-hmm,
because your nose might be bleeding for something that has to do with something that you'd never expect.
mm-hmm,
If you go to a mechanic and you say, "Hey, my radiator keeps blowing up. My fuel, my lines to my fan to the hot air keep blowing up all the time. Why
mm-hmm.
does that keep happening?"
Right.
If you come to the mechanic and you ask them what's wrong with the system that's causing that to happen, the
Mm-hmm,
mechanic will stop it from happening. But if you come to the mechanic, you just say, "Hey, fix my fuel lines." He's just gonna be like,
mm-hmm.
"Okay." He's gonna fix them, and then a month later, they're gonna blow
You'll
up
be
again.
back. Yeah, mm-hmm.
So it's
Exactly.
better to get a systemic overview of
Mm-hmm.
something going on with your life. And that is the full reading. I think that's the best thing to do with an astrologer is allow them to take the time to look at your whole chart and to see your
Yeah.
whole experience in context. But it's
Mm-hmm.
good for me to offer both because I do get I do get both. But most people come to me for the bigger reading, which I'm happy about.
That's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's really cool actually.
A lot of the
So,
times I'll
yeah.
I'll do the big reading and then
Uh-huh.
someone will come for the cold reading in like a year or two because we've already
Uh-huh.
done the big
You
reading.
don't, yeah, that's also a good option, I think. That now
Yeah,
that you're
right?
familiar, then you come back for like a question or just, a small insight or guidance, something.
You
That's
got it.
really cool. Yeah.
You got it.
So, guys, Dustin Cormier, Tropical Vedic Astrologer. Dustin, thank you so much for being here. I obviously hope to have you back to keep talking about astrology and your practice and our challenges you face and all these things going on. And obviously about your Saturn transit with Pluto. I find
Hmm.
that so fascinating. So please keep us posted about that. People are
I would
asking
love to.
also that generation, the 1991 are
Hmm.
asking like, oh, what's all about, and now you're here with us, so you're living it, going through this.
I love to talk about it. It's been doing me some good. And thank you, Myra.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for letting
thank
me
you.
on. Thank you for everything. I think that it's wonderful what you're doing.
Oh,
I'm
thank
sure
you,
that your
Dustin.
audience loves you, and I'm very glad to be connected to you and to your
Oh,
audience and
thank you.
to everything. I really appreciate your time as well.
Thank you, Dustin, for your time and energy and everything you do for astrology. And well, thank you guys for staying until the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And Dustin, you're always welcome here. And guys, thank you for watching. So see you in the next episode.
Take care.
Bye, guys.